Hello, hello. It is your girl M here with Just Ask M and the Demarkcus of Gentlemen's Cookies.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hello, everybody. How y'all doing?
And before we jump into it, I do just want to use this as an example. We originally had something scheduled. You had something come up, but
Mm,
he simply communicated that he wasn't going to do the original date, and we rescheduled. So I'm super excited to be here.
mhm.
But I say that to say things happen, and it's as simple as communication, And the day that you couldn't make it, I went out to see you at the holiday party at the Richardson Hotel, still did a quick snippet, and it does what it needs to. So,
Yeah, she stalked me.
yeah. I said, I'm going to find you one way or
She was
another.
like, right one way or another.
So communicate or I will find you. No, I'm kidding.
Yes, you will.
Oh, right. But the reason I was happy actually meeting you at the holiday market because the small snippet, I actually you talked about things that I didn't know,
Mm,
which kind of still benefited because now we can talk about it more in depth.
gotcha.
So before Gentlemen's Cookies, what's a little bit about Demarcus?
So I mean, a little bit or a lot of bit. A little bit in a nutshell is I'm Demarcus. Born and raised of 16 years in Buffalo. I moved to Tennessee in '06, where
Okay.
I finished high school, and during that time, I went into the military my junior year.
Okay.
Um, Went to Iraq on my 18th birthday, and then
Okay. Happy
after,
birthday.
yeah, I know, right? And I think it was like snowing. I remember we had to like do our like training in Mississippi before we went to
Yes.
um, Kuwait and Iraq, and I just
Wow.
remembered that it was snowing. It was like the
As it's
first,
snowing now.
right. I think it was like the first time it snowed in like years.
Wow.
And then as of right now, we're getting our first snow.
Right.
So yeah, full circle moment. I did that, and then long story short, after I came home, I went to Tennessee Tech University, got my degree in psychology, worked in the
Okay.
field for a little bit, and then I went to Korea for 5 years. Taught
Okay.
English from kindergarten to middle,
Interesting. Wow.
and then I've been back in America since January 31st, 2023.
Wow. Okay. So, yes, definitely. Like you said, you mentioned the first time world traveler. So just a couple things. Okay, psychology, that's very interesting. What have you been able to apply that to?
Um, well, honestly, like I've always applied it to life just in general.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that I've always been one to like be involved within like mental health, mentorship,
Yeah, I love
teaching,
that.
helping raising my brother and sister,
Okay.
and Lisa's nephews back in the day. And so it's always been like one of those things where it just like was more so of the paper and the applied science of it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of been like something I dedicated like towards my life has always been dedicated to serving and helping
Mm-hmm.
other people even now today.
And I absolutely love that. Well, number one, I'm a personal assistant to a mental health therapist currently.
Mm,
And safe to say, in our cultures, it wasn't a very known thing,
mm,
growing up. But as we both sit here, I just turned 35, upcoming birthday, approaching that age, you kind of learn the importance of mental health
mm,
with all the craziness, going on in the world. And it should be normalized. You know what I mean? So I think that's great that you did what you needed to get it on paper, but you applied it to your life personally and family around you. Like, I think that's important. And I absolutely love when you can involve and apply something that does help others,
definitely.
so that in itself is great, too. So, what industry of work are you in currently and why do you enjoy it?
So as I stated, I've been mainly shifting between mental health, mentorship, teaching. Um, I was at with CPS for a year, and then I just recently made a transition um, to working as a care coordinator for people with disabilities.
Okay.
The plus is that I get to work from home, so I get to work on balancing, still helping people, but also fulfilling my mission, which is,
Yes, the
working towards my
entrepreneurship.
business and everything is like that.
I love it.
So
And
pure
it's funny.
entrepreneurship.
Yes. Something not for the weak. It's not.
Tired.
Oh, yes. And you know what's funny? That crossed my mind the other day, and I'm just like, this really is not for the weak. And it sounds great because I'm like, I am very blessed.
Hmm.
Like I said, although I'm a personal assistant, I can work remote. I make my own schedule. I'm flexible, but then it's like damn, I'm tired.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's like, it's all you. If you want something done, you can maybe ask for help or call on some people, but at
Hmm.
the end of the day, it's like, you are building it. You are the
Definitely.
backbone of it, and it's that understanding of like, you don't just, hey, I'm not going to be in today.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But, and then even to your point too, like I do home care part time with my one client. Love them to death. I swear we're like an old married couple at this point, and I just, yeah, I can't even leave him if I wanted to. And
Right.
he slightly threatened me, but no, I'm kidding.
If you leave me,
Right, but
I'm gonna
then
find you.
right,
You
but then
taught me
it's
that.
see these old folks, they're rubbing off on
I
me.
know.
He's like, you can't leave me. You know how hard it is to find you, and I'm like, hard, I guess. I don't
Right.
know, but it's also such a balance because it's the satisfaction of, serving people, taking care of others. Elder people, they're really such wisdom. They're like gold, but it kind of just helps you hold on and kind of keep moving forward because as you genuinely know, entrepreneurship, like it is mental strength, physical strength, emotional,
Hmm.
because it's like, yeah, like you said, there's no giving up. If you want something done, it's pretty much all you.
Right.
So now, when did Gentleman's Cookies start?
So, so I started the LLC in 2023. I think
Okay.
like a few months after I came back home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so kind of caveat from that is that when I was in Korea,
Mm-hmm.
I was on what's called an E2 visa, which was a teaching visa,
Mm-hmm.
and by law, I only could work the job that sponsored my visa,
Yes.
and so technically I couldn't work for anybody else. I couldn't like hustle per se. I
Oh,
couldn't.
yeah. You were limited.
I was very, very limited.
Mm.
And then before that, I was limited in Tennessee. That's why I went to Korea in the first place. Just
Mm.
because where I was still in my college town. And I just didn't have a lot of opportunities.
Okay.
So with that being said, I knew that when I came back to America, I knew I wanted to make something out of it because
Mm-hmm.
yes, I had these, abundant like
Experiences. Right.
experiences. Yes, a bunch of experiences, but I didn't have any way to really apply it.
Yeah.
But I always knew that I wanted to do something.
Right.
There was times before I went to Korea where I was going to start an escape room. I was going to start like a e-doctor, which is like electronic doctor. It's like what they have like in telehealth
Okay.
before
Yes.
telehealth started.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
but I couldn't
Yes.
get the app launched in
Okay.
time, and then I think the discouragement from that, I just, heard from fraternity brothers that, there's opportunities to teach in Korea. And then you like traveling anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how that happened. But with that being said, I started in 2023 and I just wanted to, at first it did start where I wanted to utilize something of a passion because I've been cooking since I was like 8.
Okay.
And, making means from it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, also just kind of get something I'm passionate about and let somebody else try it
Yeah.
and see how it goes.
So, out of all the things to cook, what made it be the cookies that you make?
Um, so with the cookies, there I think it's like twofold because they're very diverse. Obviously,
Right.
I could utilize different cultures
Mm-hmm.
and things that I've experienced down south, overseas, Asia,
Yeah.
Middle East, and I could put those in there. But I didn't want to cook per se
Mm-hmm.
because that's a lot more work.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
lot more work, a lot more
Too many
ingredients. You don't know if
possibilities.
people are gonna like it.
Right. Okay.
I am partial with my cooking with like Korean based foods,
Okay.
and I don't know if Buffalo would be ready for that.
Right. Right. Right.
So I was like, I didn't really want to delve into that and making meals because I was like, I might not be able to sell them.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody likes a cookie.
Yeah.
Everybody likes a cookie, and I think I do pretty well with said cookies. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, obviously, I still have like ways to fine tune things every day. Because I found out real quick that baking is a huge science.
Yes.
But when done right, you see the smiles in people.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And I think that's great because, and a lot of the time, those are the things that people don't factor when it comes to like entrepreneurship or like business, where yes, you know how to cook, but you took the time to figure out what's manageable, what's realistic with you being a one man show,
Hmm.
and what's still going to put smiles on people's faces equivalent to a meal. So
Correct.
I think that's great. I think that's actually very smart, with it being cookies where it's intentional, but you have the luxury of, like you said, applying different flavors or things that you've, learned
Hmm.
from your traveling.
Hmm.
So it's like to be able to put those world experiences into the cookies and share it with others. That's great in itself.
Hmm.
Now, with you being a world traveler, how did you end up in Korea and what made you want to teach English there?
So earlier I was saying that I was living in Tennessee at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and I was I'm not gonna say I was in a pinch, but like there was a point where I was very, very stagnant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Obviously, living in Tennessee, I came from a predominantly white institution,
Mm-hmm.
collegiate wise. I didn't have a lot of opportunities where I was at the time. I was
Okay.
going through a lot of stuff. I was
Yeah.
already out the military at this time. At that time, I think I was in at that point, like a 3.5 year relationship,
Yeah.
and things just wasn't going
Mm-hmm.
well.
Yeah.
Like there was opportunities and stuff through the networks that I built
Mm-hmm.
that was told to me that I could utilize, but never worked out. I
Mm-hmm.
remember I was supposed to get like this HR position at this engineering factory, and the dude went on vacation. They gave the job while he was on vacation in Mexico. They gave the job to somebody else.
Oh.
I was working in banking for like a year and a half. Mind you, I already had my degree. They say you got to work in customer service for a year or so, then you'll be able to get opportunities. I remember working there, and then the management stopped me from being able to
Escalate.
move forward,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
to um get in higher situations. I remember I did a interview for a different position, and they were like, your interview was well. We used to do like bow tie Tuesdays, I believe we did.
Okay.
So we would wear a suit every Tuesday. It was like
Mm-hmm.
me and a couple of people that were
Okay.
roommates with me.
Yeah.
And so like we would dress up and stuff, and people noticed that, and how we carried ourselves. And I remember they was like, yeah, you can't get this position because you don't know this one system.
Uh,
And I was like, the system that I don't know is not in my job description, nor is it offered to me. So
yeah.
how can I learn said system?
Yeah.
And they was like, well, because you don't know that system, you're not going to get this job. One system out of like probably like 15 to
What
20
happened
that
to
we
the
knew.
training opportunity?
My point exactly. So
That's weird.
I think that right there was like the final straw. And so I was
Yeah.
just calling around trying to get different jobs,
Mm-hmm.
Social Security, different things of that forth, contracts with the government because I'm a vet. And
Right.
so
Yes.
nothing
Thank you
was
for your
panning out. And
service,
I
actually, because
appreciate
that's
it.
around the corner.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Tuesday. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I was like, this is not panning out. So I remember talking to like my fraternity brothers at the time and letting them know, that I'm trying to find some opportunities. So they were like, hey, we know somebody who attempted to pledge before. He's been living in Korea. He's married with a kid and everything like
Oh.
that. And that might be opportunity. So I linked it with
Mm-hmm.
him. And when I tell you that process, it probably was like a good like 3.5 weeks. And then I was like leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I remember
Okay.
I did my passport. I got my passport. Once I got that documentation, I was
Yeah.
like,
It's
oh,
like
I'm
reality.
free.
Yeah.
And so then it was like, yeah, the visa. So I paid for the visa. We got the ticket. And I just remember my friend Drew, he passed while I was in Korea. He's from the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
And I had went over to the Bahamas actually that Christmas
Yeah.
before I left. We went over there for a week. He was just like, get the ticket, I'll take care of everything else. And he took care of everything. We went from like the hood to the mansions to a party in a
Balance.
fort. What I tell you, we went to like
Right.
private beaches. It was cool. But
Amazing.
he took me to the airport.
Okay.
And I was gone from there, and I left for 5 whole years straight. And I don't know. That was crazy.
And there's so many things that I want to like speak on just those past few minutes.
Sorry about my rant.
But no, no, this is listen, my platform, your show, honey. That's what's supposed to happen. But those are the things that I want to normalize as far as the journey that you just explained. Because, like, I personally have gone through so many similar things like
Hmm.
that. And at times it's so easy to look at it at such a negative way. Obviously, when you're going through it
Of
and you
course.
just, the unknown, yes, it's
Hmm.
easy to be fearful of that. But I think it's so important to normalize. Yeah, you're going job to job. Okay, you didn't get this one. Sometimes you don't understand why, but it's nothing to be like hurt over or discouraged over. You know,
Correct.
when you change your mindset and perspective, when you don't realize those are actually like blessings, like bumping you
Hmm.
towards where you need to be.
Definitely.
You know, and I
Yeah.
never looked at it that way. I'm like, just, why is this happening? It's just, this isn't fair, like this and that. Fast forward to now, I'm just like,
Made you who you
thank
are
you.
today.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that's literally the beauty in the journey. And it's just like anybody who's thinking of starting a business and entrepreneurship, I mean, you started in 2023.
Hmm.
I started mine in 2023. Those first 2 to 3 years are probably the most challenging
Hmm.
because you are the one rooting yourself on. At times, the support you may expect, you probably will not get. Strangers will be the ones supporting you.
Hmm.
You have to get creative with how can
Shout
I
out to Josh. Sorry, he knows.
yeah, and you have that circle of people probably you can count on one hand that, keep you motivated, keep you encouraged. But even to your point of when it was that last straw, you reached out to who you knew you can go to.
Hmm.
They simply gave you the connection, but it's what you did with it. So although he's the one
Definitely.
who gave you the connection, that's exactly where I love helping people. Where if you have the willingness, if you show that you're ready for that change, you're
Hmm.
ready for something new, absolutely here you go.
Right.
But then what people don't understand is that's the most other people can do for you. And
Hmm.
then what you do with that information and that connection is completely up to you.
Correct.
And you're a perfect example of that. He gave it to you, you took action. 3.5 weeks, you did everything that was required, what you needed to do, and you were on a plane.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that right there, I feel like is such an important part that so many people miss and a big reason why people may not take the step to do entrepreneurship or start that small business or
Right.
take action on that business idea. And that's why entrepreneurship is genuinely not for the weak.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But kudos to you for like, you've had a very eventful life for a young age, which is amazing and great. And, you didn't deter too far from, hey, I think I can do this. I have a great idea. How can I execute it but make it work for me?
Correct.
And that is the success and accomplishment of entrepreneurship, whether you've been doing it 3 years, whether you've been doing it 10 years.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, no matter how long you've been doing it, it's a different challenge constantly with people, everyday life. It doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, 50. We're constantly evolving.
Hmm.
So, although some people may have more experience and more wisdom, age is genuinely nothing but a number. At
Hmm.
the end of the day, I feel like that experience is genuinely what defines what you've been through, what you've tested yourself to overcome, and what I have learned, how can I apply it and help others?
Hmm.
And I think in Buffalo, that is one of the struggles that we kind of lack culture here. We misunderstand what support genuinely should look like. Having the understanding that even if you are maybe superior to somebody in a craft or something that you do,
Hmm.
bringing people with you,
Definitely.
not kind of like gatekeeping or, other people who might not be doing what you're doing in the way that you're doing.
Hmm.
There's no need for intimidation, no insecurity, it's no competition. Whereas, let's collaborate.
Correct.
You've traveled the world. How can you bring those cultures? How can you make Buffalo ready for the things that you experienced in
Hmm.
Korea? And even with that, to a point, as we briefly spoke, these golden ages of our 30s that we're in, we're starting to develop this I don't care attitude. But not in a negative way. It's I don't care in the sense of people pleasing never really gets anybody anywhere.
Hmm.
So when you're confident in something, when you know you have something that's of value or that can be interesting for others, you kind of just get to this point where it's just like, I'm just going to put myself out there. I'm just going to put it out there and whatever happens, happens.
Correct.
And as I said previously, the unplanned and unexpected are really like the best things. And I used
Hmm.
to have such a fear of it, but it's just like that mindset and perspective, when you switch the gears of that, what a difference that can make. You know what
Definitely.
I'm saying?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. So, it's funny because we talked about like trying not to expect perfection and trusting the process. And it's hilarious that my sweatshirt is what it is today. Oh, because it
Oh
says
wow, and I literally didn't even,
right,
yeah.
it's perfection and not progress. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not perfection, it's progress.
Okay, I love
And a
that.
lot of times, to piggyback off of what we're talking about, a lot of times we wait until everything is the perfect situation, the perfect moment. We got the perfect amount of money, we got the perfect amount of people
Not gonna
rooting
happen.
for us, and it's never gonna happen. I don't care how big or small the idea is. You have to go and do it, and you have to trust the process. And trust that the journey is going to be what it is, because regardless of if you fall, as long as you're still alive, regardless of if you fall, you still learn experience.
And
100%.
what's funny is people still fall after 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And it's literally just process of elimination, what works and what doesn't.
Which makes it really cool for, you know, I can only speak for myself at this moment, but I feel like we're similar. The people who started from like the bottom who are building, they're the people who are very, very resilient. So when things do forward, things are not working out, they are able to pivot and keep moving forward. They might fall, they'll dust themselves off, they might, ponder or pound it and things of that forth. But at the end of the day, they're gonna still come back up and they're gonna persevere,
Absolutely.
from whatever situation that they're coming from. And I think I'm a prime example of literally
All of that.
coming from all of that. When I tell you, like,
Yeah.
I couldn't pay for school,
Hmm.
or anything like that. And, and I'm not calling my dad out, but he was like, I'm not putting my name on none of your school stuff, but you're going to school. And I was like, legally, I can't do that. So I think the next day I went into the military because I was already in ROTC at
Oh,
the time in high school.
okay. There you
So I
go.
think the next day I was just like, yo, yeah, let me get in the military. You gonna pay for my school? They're like, yeah. They're
There
like,
you
you
go.
also gonna get a bonus too. And I was like, okay, cool.
Look
I'm
at God.
17 years old. Look at God. But then it was like, but it's a combat MOS,
Yeah.
which is like a combat job, which is
Okay.
why I got deployed on my 18th
Oh,
birthday. So
wow.
like
Wasted
literally,
no time.
no, not at all. Like I did my
Jesus.
basic training between high school and I'm between junior and senior year.
Okay.
I did like my drills and stuff like that, and then I graduated my senior year, obviously. But then like a couple months later, I got a letter. It was like, you go to Iraq, and I was like, no.
Wait, wait, wait. I was just signing up for the school, but
Listen, when I tell you, I try to go to, because I remember going to my tour for the
it's probably
university that
funny
I
now,
went to.
not then.
No, I remember going to the tour for my university, and I was like, yeah, can I get a scholarship for LTC? I'm already in LTC. I'm already contract with the military. Let me get in there. And they was like, no. I was like, how? I was like, these people ain't even, they haven't even like did basic training, none of that stuff. They was like, but in your contract, you're a common MOS, which is like a critical MOS, and you are slated to go overseas. And so you can't sign a contract that trumps the contract you already got.
God said, "Oh, you want it? Here you go. I hit that."
And they gave it to me. But I mean, I
That's
was
cool.
okay.
Yeah. Thank
Um,
God. Yeah.
Thank God. And because like where some of the other soldiers was like, man, we want some
Yeah.
action. I
Nope.
want to go home.
Yeah. Can't speak for
Because
me.
I was with a
Thank
whole
you.
Tennessee unit, and I was first of all, I was the only northern in my unit. It was like a cavalry unit, like you get Stetsons and spurs and stuff. I don't care about none of that. I just care about doing my job
Getting in, getting out.
and getting
Give me
out.
my badge. We're
Right,
good.
just giving my
That's
give me my little piece of paper, and that's what it
crazy.
was.
Yeah. And even to like your point too, like where, the period of time where you said you were stagnant, you couldn't pay for school. Like both those moments could have just had you been like, nah, forget it. Give me the 9 to 5. We'll
Correct.
call it a day. But even with that, being stagnant, normalizing that word, that's not even a bad thing because that's still part of the process. And it's easier to talk about it now because like people like you and I, we've kind of gotten through that. We've become resilient. We've built up the mental strength to kind of get back up from those things. But like for people going through those things or feel like they can't, it's like I wish I could like instill it in people, but you can only talk about it so much where it's just
Correct.
like, yo, it's gonna be okay. Like it's gonna be okay, and it's so you're like, yeah, okay, easier said than done. Absolutely, so
Yeah.
much easier said than done. Mind over matter is not a quote for no reason. That's the best way that I can put it. That when you
Correct.
train your mind, when you strengthen your mind, I legit feel like it fuels your body and then it pushes you to do those things that you could never see yourself do before.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's so important to surround yourself with people with that mindset, the places that you're going, the time and energy that you're investing in,
Hmm.
because it just makes that mindset so much easier to develop when you're feeding it the right stuff. You know what I
Correct.
mean? So just things like that, like really, it's I could talk about it all day.
Likewise.
But yeah, I that journey is amazing. A lot of the time I love doing this because people see you at the stand with the cookies and smiling and waving,
Mm.
have no clue about everything we discussed. I had no clue. I'm like, world traveler. And I'm like, hearing you talk to Barbara, who casually walked up and, right in the middle of our interview.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let's keep recording.
Yeah.
I love when it happens unnaturally. And I'm hearing you talk to her, and I'm like, okay, did not know that. Okay, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
there's
this is the
attention
power. Yeah.
behind everything, and a lot of times it's kind of like subconsciously intentional because like I'm just like, ooh, I remember this, and I'm going to utilize this.
And it helps you
So,
remember your own journey.
and it helps me remember my own journey, and it helps me
Yes.
not forget the foundations what led me here. Because even when
Absolutely.
I lived in Tennessee, I never forgot Buffalo. When
Mm-hmm.
I moved to Korea, I never forgot. Buffalo
Mm-hmm.
and the teachings and the different things. Because the first thing everybody says is, "Where you from, bro?"
Mm-hmm.
"Where you from, bro?" And I'm just like,
It ain't even where I'm from. It's where I've been.
and it really is. But the thing about it is, literally, all of those things propelled me to be who I am today. So, like when I was in Buffalo and I went to Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
I learned like the pride of where I was from, and
Mm-hmm.
then when I went into the military, then I learned the pride of being like American.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to school, then the education. So when I went to Korea, it embodied everything. Everybody loves the idea of being in New York, right? So that helped me network and navigate. Every
Mm-hmm.
man in Korea has to serve 2 years in the military before they're 30. They have to. So the fact that I was a veteran, it gave me a huge open door behind a
Yeah.
lot of different things. And it gave me a lot of respect there too.
Mm-hmm.
So like all of those experiences, those compound experiences, like allowed doors to open for me.
Yes.
As sucky as they were at that time, at the
It's
moments,
all part of the process.
it helped me out.
Yeah.
It really is.
Because then,
Did.
like later on, when life, because life is gonna happen. There's no stopping it. You could be at your highest, happiest point in life, and life is still going to happen. The control that we have and discipline that we have to develop is not allowing whatever that situation may be or the emotions of it in that moment to knock us down so far that we're reverting back
Back, yeah.
in our progress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the major things where, circling back to the beginning, mental health. That's why it's so important to maintain that, because at the end of the day, that is going to be your best safety net to keep you resilient, to keep you persevering, and really have the understanding. Yes, it's not about perfection, but it's literally about your progress.
Correct.
So it doesn't matter if you're here and I'm here, as long as I'm still progressing,
Correct.
I'm still doing what I need to do and I am still succeeding.
And those
Yeah.
are the only people I'm trying to surround
And
myself
and
with.
and yeah, we shouldn't measure our success by like, oh, what you did this and that, because somebody could be in business 10 years and you might have more money in your account than them.
In the long
So
run.
there's no measuring. Everybody's journey and process is different. But like I said, I can talk about that for days. But with that being said, what do we have here? We have some white chocolate macadamia. Oh, butterfinger chip. What's the yin yang chocolate? I assume that this is Asian culture.
Well, that's
Yin yang.
the for
That's
the
the
name, but
name.
it's just
Okay.
white and black chocolate chip cookie.
Okay, I like it. And then, ooh, white chocolate matcha. So, and I've seen you've been doing a few pop-ups in the holiday markets. Anything fun and exciting for the holidays?
For the holidays, so I'm still part of the Richardson. So,
Okay.
um, they're having their winter
Market.
market coming up after Thanksgiving. I'm gonna do the first Sunday,
Okay.
just to kind of see how things go because
Yes.
it's about to snow out here as it is.
Right.
Like it is coming
You're
down.
right.
Oh, so I digress, y'all. Yeah, I'm literally looking outside the window. I'm just like the flakes are flaking. All right,
It's
so
magical.
yeah, just, yeah. All right. Oh, so with that being said, we'll be doing that. I'm working on buying my first home.
Yes.
Um,
So exciting.
I'm working on closing on a duplex. So and there's a tenant already upstairs. So I'm
Okay.
actually being like really blessed. So like all of these
All
experiences that we're talking about,
right.
it's finally
Coming
really coming
together.
together, but it's coming way too fast.
No, it's not.
I t-
Not too fast. No such thing.
faster than planned.
Okay. But that's
Cause look,
good.
I
Blessings.
was not trying to do any of this until like beginning of next year to the spring.
God felt you were
And
ready
then
now.
God felt that I was ready now. And everything that tried to deter me from getting it, God makes sure that I got it. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting it. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can do it because of this. I don't know if I can do it because of this.
Because that right there,
Right.
that right there, don't doubt yourself or your ability because nothing will be perfect. What did you say? Nothing is ever going to be fully
Yep.
perfect. And sometimes you just got to get thrown into it, and those are the best opportunities.
It's a little difficult when it's green things that's in the way. But
Listen,
even that quote
God
unquote
will
being in the way,
provide.
I'm
You
serious.
knew that if you Christian, our job
Yeah.
is to mind our business, mind
And
ourselves,
let God.
have faith, and stay consistent because
Yeah.
that consistency got you where you are with this business.
Mm-hmm.
And that has already proven to you. So
Mm-hmm.
with this next chapter, all you got to do is keep doing what you're doing and focus, and God will take care of the rest. And listen, it's Sunday, y'all. We preaching up in here. Don't play with me. Okay?
She's wonderful. I digress. But yes, no, seriously though, you're perfectly right
Yes.
because like literally the moment. So like what happens is I go through these transitional periods
Mm-hmm.
where for me, I'm like I said, I can speak for myself. I feel like I go through some really dark moments mentally, physically,
Mm-hmm.
and spiritually, and then I always make sure that I go to God. But at the also during those times, I make sure that I'm growing within myself.
That part.
Because a lot of people fail to realize that if you don't allow yourself growth and healing and actually intentional, like intentionally helping yourself mentally, therapy, different things of that forth, you're gonna always fall back into the same
Right.
pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I go through these trials and tribulations per sort of sorts, I there's a point where my shoulders get lighter.
Mm-hmm.
There's a aha moment that comes in, and then I literally bump up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is
You know
and I
what?
don't think I ever really go down too
Mm-mm.
much.
It's slow,
So
but it's
like
still going up.
it's going up. Maybe it goes down like here,
Mm-hmm.
but then I go up, and then this is
Mm-hmm.
the plateau, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like really
Mm-hmm.
climbing a huge mountain.
And what did I just say? Controlling the emotion, not to let yourself get down so
Exactly,
low that you're reverting.
exactly. And when I'm saying I'm doing that, it's like I look at the last year. Like I always look at the last year. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
dang, this is what I
Mm-hmm.
overcame, and this
Mm-hmm.
is where I went. And even now, I'm just like, I never would have thought I'd be buying a house. I never would have thought I would have
Mm-hmm.
had a business. I never would have thought I would be even something simple as working from home. Because I was
That
like, is
part.
that even possible now?
Right. Yeah.
And so, like, things are actually really working
Aligning.
out, aligning, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
aligning to where I'm slowly becoming content
Yeah. And
or believing in the process.
yes, and when them shoulders get light, that's because you letting go and letting God.
Exactly.
That's all. Like I said, I love that so much. It's Sunday, so we're gonna get a little spiritual up in here. Hallelujah. But all I know, because like I said, I could relate like so much, and there's such a beauty in that where trust in the and once again we got it. These are the topics that we don't speak on enough, and we gotta normalize it.
Hmm.
First of all, dark moments are still gonna come,
Yeah.
and I can relate to that. I know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
But number one, when you're chosen, when you have an intentional purpose and you decide to walk into it, you already have to have the mindset that trials and tribulations are going to come. You're going to make
Correct.
people mad. The devil is going to try to attack you even more because he knows the end result of your journey and your
Hmm.
purpose. And because the outcome is so bright, because the outcome is going to encourage others positively, that's why we're going to go through those dark moments, but we
Hmm.
have to make sure we're spiritually strong to
Hmm.
be able to pick ourselves up when nobody else may be available.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So focusing on things, like that, normalizing the dark times are going to come, but how am I going to handle them and how am I going to rise up victoriously without feeling defeated? And there's always this one song that by Marvin Sapp. You wonder why God either finds joy in certain situations or, these things that seem like negative. But the real victory in it is he trusts people like you and I with trouble.
Hmm.
And not a lot of people can endure that. So when you start to look at it as empowering and you almost feel flattered that, wow, God, you trust me enough to deal with these trials and tribulations because you have that much faith in me that
Mhm.
I'm going to get through it and I'm going to rise up stronger each time, like you said.
Yeah.
So although it's not completely shooting up,
Mhm.
but as long as you're doing this rather slow and you might plateau, but as long as it's still going up,
Correct.
that's the part that matters. But at times, that's why you have to keep that vision strong and look at the bigger picture because the enemy will want you to look at what's happening right there. Oh, no,
Mhm.
I'm never going to get past
Or
this.
be
I'm
stuck
never
in the
going to,
past.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So for you to be buying a home, to have a tenant in the beginning, that ain't nothing but God putting you steps further than what you asked for. But as long as you stay faithful and obedient and consistent and focus on the things that you need to do,
Mhm.
God will take care of the rest.
Mhm.
And I feel like the problem these days is people are so void. You're looking for the help in the wrong things and the wrong people, which is why you're confused at why you're not growing.
Yeah.
So that's the focus of that mental health, self care, taking care of you because how can you help others if
You
you're
can't
not good
help
for
yourself.
yourself?
Exactly. And I
You know what I'm
and I,
saying?
I preach that to so many people. And because, a lot of us are empaths. But a lot of
Yes.
people forget that in order to help somebody, you have to be here. You can't help nobody if you're gone. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people forget that. They're like, and I used to be like that. That's the reason why I
Mm-hmm.
have so much gray hair now, because I was just
It's wisdom
helping,
now.
helping, helping. Like it is, but it's like I had to learn that I have to
Mm-hmm.
make a decision for myself
That part.
and it's not that you have to make a decision for yourself and still not be spiritually bound by
Mm-hmm.
it, but you still have to help yourself in order to prepare yourself for it. And honestly, you're going to help people more if you help yourself than just helping them, because you
Mm-hmm.
guys are both helping each other stay in the
Mm-hmm.
mud. If you get out the mud and
Mm-hmm.
you're helping yourself, then like, okay, they could at least follow the steps that you made. It's just like people who rock climb. You know what I'm saying? If
Mm-hmm.
somebody's rock climbing before you and they're going through everything or whatever like that, you could still work to rock climb with them,
Mm-hmm.
but at least now you have like an example of where to
Mm-hmm.
go. And I think
Bringing
that will
people
help
with
people.
you.
That will help people more than just always going through the struggle just by themselves and not helping themselves. Or what
Mm-hmm.
happens is you end up in a situation where you get into a loop where you keep pushing everybody, pushing
And you're
everybody, but you're still
drowning.
stuck
Mm-hmm.
and you're drowning. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this concludes the Sunday sermon for today on Just Ask Him. Hallelujah. We'll say we accept tithes and offerings through Cash App, Venmo, and Zelle.
Yes. Follow me at Jennifer's Cookies on
I
Instagram.
listen. I might have to have you on a part two for a Hallelujah session.
Of
But first of
course.
all, I absolutely love how this went. I think that's so important. I hope this resonates with people. In the sense of yes, it's not selfish to take care of yourself so you can be strong and be powerful enough to not only bring people with you, but be an example
Mm.
of. That's the era that I'm in.
Hmm.
I'm done explaining.
Right.
I don't need to shout myself and
Right.
I'm just going to show you better than I can tell
Correct.
you. And this is why I do what I do because this is what collaboration looks like.
Hmm.
This is looks like where if you're escalating but you're bringing me with you and then I'll go higher and then I'll bring you with me.
Correct.
It's not that difficult, but for some reason it's a struggle here. And that's the very thing that I want to break the oppression in Buffalo, New York because we have way too much potential.
Hmm.
We have way too much potential and I think we just need to start seeing that. And when we start seeing that, like you said, the blessings that will come out of it will surpass people's expectations like you've never seen before. And I genuinely think that there's something great in store for Buffalo as long as we open our minds and hearts to being kind to one another. My God, bring back humanity,
Correct.
manners,
Yeah.
kindness. Hi,
Yeah.
how are you? Smile. But
Right.
Buffalo probably has so many wonderful smiles and we don't even know it.
Yeah. I mean, we see it when it comes to the bills.
Yes. Ooh, the popo
I,
coming for me.
I
We gotta
tell
go.
you, you're not gonna get any union than like seeing like the Buffalo Bills play our
Can
Bills
we apply
Mafia.
that?
But can we apply that? Like we
That
call it the
part.
city of new neighbors, but my neighbors don't know who I am.
Segregated neighbors. No. Stop the clicks. No. But you heard it here on Just Ask M. Gentlemen's cookies. I'm sure you are taking orders during the
Yeah, I'm
holidays.
definitely taking orders. You can
Yes.
follow me at Gentleman's Cookies 2023
Yes.
on Instagram, or if you want to find my personal page, it's Go Demarkcus. Yes, it is
Yes.
Go Demarkcus.
Yes. Go to, and it's Demarkcus.
Yes, indeed.
Okay?
Thank you.
You are welcome. Well, continue to stay tuned, subscribe, and let's support local.